Hi, everybody. You might be approaching the end of your financial year, and it's the perfect time to get your Sage 50 accounts in order. The year end process itself is simple. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned pro or if it's your first time, it's just a few steps in the wizard. But before you dive in, there are some important checks and housekeeping tasks that will just make everything run smoothly. Things like archiving your company data just keeps it organized and improves performance. We'll show you how to create an archive and why it's a good habit. Then there's backing up your data, which is essential before making any changes, and we'll share best practice just to ensure your backups are reliable. And avoid accidental postings into a closed period by setting a lock date. It's quick to do and it saves headaches later. We'll also guide you through the year end wizard as well, step by step, so you can complete the process with confidence. If you need to tidy up old or unused records, we'll show you how to do that as well in our Delete Your Records webinar. And then we'll also cover how to clear the audit trail. It can help speed things up, and we'll explain when it's appropriate and how to do that safely. So to help you to prepare, we're hosting a series of live webinars throughout January and February. These sessions will give you practical tips and demonstrations so you feel confident about your year end and keep your accounts in great shape. Don't miss this opportunity to start the new year with clean, organised data and peace of mind. Make sure you reserve your spot today at sage.co.uk/webinars, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Hi everyone, it's that time again when you might be starting to think about your year end. The year end process itself is straightforward. It's a simple wizard that includes a few options. However, before this, there's the preparation stage, ensuring you've posted everything, and of course, it involves running reports. But do you understand your reports and also the opportunities that you have to develop them? Ensuring they're accurate, but also that they provide you with a correct level of detail. Throughout January and February, we're running a series of live webinars to help develop your knowledge and understanding of the management reports available in Sage 50 accounts. We'll be starting with the basics, understanding nominal records and the structure of the nominal ledger. This is also ideal if you need to create new nominal codes. Following on from this, we'll examine the chart of accounts, looking at all aspects, including adding new layouts and editing existing ones. Our attention then turns to the management reports themselves, the trial balance, the profit and loss, and of course the balance sheet. We'll explain how to run them, what they show, and most importantly, how the figures calculate. We want you to be confident. On the management report session, one of the most common scenarios we're asked about is where you haven't yet run your year end, but need to generate a profit and loss report for your next financial year. We've got your back with this and have a specific webinar that explores the options you have available, whether it's running reports for your new financial year or even a previous one. The last webinar in the series looks at reconciling your age debtors and age creditor reports at year end, ensuring that the balances agree with the figures on your trial balance and the balance sheet. Of course, this could be done at any time, such as part of your month-end process. So come along and we'll demonstrate what to check and how to run them to ensure everything agrees. If you'd like to attend any or all of these sessions to help develop your knowledge and boost your confidence, then simply head along to sage.co.uk/webinars and register for your free place. These, along with loads of other topics, including how to run your year end, are available. See you soon.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm going to be your host for this morning's session. Today we're looking at part 2 of our budget series, so we're going to start looking at the advanced budgeting options. So part 1, if you didn't get a chance to look at that one, is available from our recordings page, and it covers the standard budgeting. Now, standard budgeting, it's available on all levels of the software. Advanced budgeting, it's in standard and professional levels only. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Now, a session is scheduled for around about 45 minutes. We'll try and get it done before that. Obviously, it will just depend how many questions we get along the way. Now, a little bit of housekeeping just before we get stuck in. As normal, you don't need a microphone. If you do have one and you've enabled it, you will find it's muted automatically. You can't unmute yourself. So any questions that you have for myself or Laura, will be on hand to help answer those questions. You'll just need to pop them into the questions panel. To access that, just click your little speech bubble icon. It should be on the toolbar down the right. Give it a click, it'll expand. You get access to that box in the bottom right-hand corner. So pop your comments and your questions in there. Remember to click send, otherwise we won't see them. And we'll just try and sort of answer them or react to them as we're going through the session this morning. There's an opportunity during this morning's session to download a copy of the handout. There's 2 versions available, the normal coloured version of the slides, and also there's the what we term the print-friendly version, so with the colours stripped out. Now, as normal, the session is being recorded. You will receive a follow-up email. You'll receive that around about now after you finish. That will include a link to this morning's recording. It will include a link to our registration page, and also it'll include a link to our recordings page. So if there's any topics you've missed, or maybe you've attended previously, but you think maybe could do with a bit of a recap, then do check that out. So watch out for that. As I say, round about now after we finish, you'll get that. Right, this morning's session, this is what we're going to be covering. So we're going to start with a brief introduction to budgeting, just a bit of a reminder on that one, and then we'll just get stuck into some demonstrations. I want to mention a little bit about reports, encourage you to how you go about giving it a go as well, having a go within your software, whether that's in your live data or possibly even the demo or the practice companies. But opportunity to give it a go, have a try of it within your software, see how it works, see which of the method is right for you. And then just at the end, we'll explain more about the additional support. And if there are any outstanding questions at that point, we'll open up to those as well. Might run a few extra demos here and there if necessary. Right, so let's get started with a bit of an introduction to part 2. So within your software, you've got the budgeting area, which is held within your company preferences area. So to access that, you would just go settings, company preferences, and you've got your budgeting tab. The tabs that you have may look a little bit different, just depends on the level of the software you're on. But that budgeting method, if you're on the standard level or the professional level of Sage 50 accounts, where it shows you the budgeting method, the drop down will then present you 2 options, standard or advanced. If you're on essentials, it's just going to say standard. You'll not have the option for the drop down. You'll not have the option to change it. So standard, I mentioned at the beginning, it's available in all variants of Sage 50 accounts. And the advanced is what we're going to look at today, standard, professional, and the 3 options. So when you switch to the standard method, there'll be 3 types available: nominal code, department overview, and department in depth. And they're the 3 that we're going to go through this morning. So you can see the subtle differences between them. So we'll start with the first one, advanced nominal code. Now this is very similar to the standard method that we looked at in part 1, but there are extra benefits. So as well as setting budgets for your current financial year, within the screen you'll be able to view previous budgets, so last year's. You'll be able to see your current year, but you can also enter a forecast year. Now, if you think back to part 1, when we went into a nominal record, the only thing we could do within that is enter a set of budgets, and basically they'd be used for your current financial year. That same column you could leave intact for when you run a year end, just leave them as they are, and they would be used for your next year's budgets as well. But it's one set of budgets, so you've got like that 12-month period. Whereas with the advanced methods, you do get the current year, plus it means you can sort of prepare for your next financial year in advance by entering in the forecast year. There's a copy values option, so you can copy budget values from one month to the next, choosing to increase or decrease figures via either by a value or percentage. You'll see that in the demo in a moment. Now, one thing to note is that in part one, when we covered budgets, the standard budgeting method, you can import into that. And one of the bits of feedback we always get on this session is, how can I import into the advanced methods? You can't. You don't have that capability. They've got to be entered manually. So that's something to bear in mind when you're deciding on your method, is I suppose the time it takes to establish your budgets. Do you normally prepare them outside of Sage? If you do, then with the advanced methods, you've then got to key that in manually. Whereas if you're on the standard method, you might have that budget information for each nominal code, pop it into a spreadsheet, and then you can import that. But with the advanced methods, you can't. So let's start by having a look at the advanced method by nominal code. So I'll switch to my screen. Now, you're more than welcome to follow along in your software as well. If you are wanting to do that, you just switch to the likes of your demonstration company. If you wanted to do that, you would just go to File, Open, and then you've got the demo data in there, something I'll come back to a little bit later on as well. And also you've got the opportunity to access the practice data. Now, I might as well mention both of those at this stage as well. Demo data, I've got loads of information already entered, so loads of customers, suppliers, invoices, products and services, transactions. So there are loads of information in there. Practice data, when you choose that one, I'll just give it a click now actually, and you'll be prompted with this one. You can either use blank data, so start from scratch, meaning that it's a good learning tool. So if you want to enter something and see where it impacts on your software, you can start with blank data. You're not getting distracted by loads of other information. You've also got the option to use your own data. So this option on the left, you need to be on version, I think it's 30.1 or above for that to be available to you. It means that you can restore a backup of your data into that practice company, have a bit play around with it, and it will be there for the duration of that session. When you close out of the practice data, it will essentially reset that. It means that you can have a go of these options using a copy of your live data, essentially. See what it would look like and how it would apply to yours. Right, now I've got a copy of my live company here, so we'll just be using that one today. Right, so the advanced by nominal code. So to check or set the method, just in case of going into settings, company preferences. It'll just prompt you for your password. Opens the company preferences window, and then you should have a budgeting tab along the top. Now, the sort of the layout of that will be dependent on obviously your version, the level of software you're on, and also possibly your screen resolution as well. Well, you'll have a budgeting tab at the top. Budgeting method, by default, you'll be set to standard. So I'm just going to choose advanced. And when we choose advanced, you've got the three options. So it's this first one that we're going to start with, nominal code. So I'll just OK that. So I'll just give that a few moments. Now to access the budgets. Now remember in part one when we covered the standard budgets, we went into nominal codes. And if I bring up a nominal code, so I'll bring up the one we looked at last time, and we would have had a budgets column previously. Now we don't have that when you're on one of the advanced methods. That budget column disappears. It's not relevant to the advanced methods. You enter your budgets in a different area. And that's why when we come on to reporting a little bit later, some reports will actually look at, some of the standard reports will actually look at your nominal records, and specifically they would be trying to pick up the budget's information that has previously been entered. And therefore, those reports won't work with the advanced method because it needs to look elsewhere for that budget information. Now, there can be two reasons why you don't have a budgets column. One is that you are set up for an advanced method, which we are. The other is that you've right-clicked at some point and you've hidden that budgets column. So remember, you could just switch it on or off to display it or not, but it's not there when you're on the advanced method. Instead, you can enter your budgets in one of two places. Both take you to the same option. One is within nominal codes. You'll have a budgets option on your toolbar at the top here. That will bring up this window. So essentially your new budgets window. The other place to access that is to go into departments. And again, you'll have access to the budgets option. It doesn't matter which way you go into it, it will give you the same options. Right, so how do we go about entering budgets? Well, we'll just quickly run through the screen a little bit first of all. So you've got your nominal area first of all on the left here. Now, if anyone's used what you term the analyzer view within the nominal codes window, you'd be familiar with this. It uses your chart of accounts, and it uses the chart of accounts which is listed here. And we could specify that on the budgeting tab when we're looking at within company preferences if needed. I've only got the one in my case, so it has picked that up by default. Just let that reload. Now, if I highlight sales as an example, and we got our monthly breakdown here, so we see this horizontal as opposed to vertical when we were within the nominal record earlier. And normally it would just be a case of keying those in. Now you'll find that even though you click at this stage, nothing's active at that point. And it's just because we're at the top category at this stage. So we're highlighting sales. Instead, you need to drill down through essentially your chart of accounts to nominal code level. So we expand sales. So it's got the chart of accounts sort of nominal categories. If you don't understand the chart of accounts, we've got some webinars coming up on that soon. So we highlight product sales, we're in the same position at this stage. We're not at nominal code level just yet. So we choose the relevant category. So I'll just concentrate on product sales. We'll expand it. And then it lists the nominal codes that's included within that specific nominal range in my chart of accounts. And at that stage, if I highlight one of the nominal codes, you'll see that the figures at the bottom then become active. Now we got our monthly breakdown. Obviously, brought forward, not applicable. I can't enter a brought forward budget. But we then got the months of our financial year. We got a carried forward, so essentially what you would term a future option, I suppose. So you've got your budget figures, that's where you're going to be keying in. You've got your actuals. So again, similar to the when we're looking in part one at the nominal record itself. And then we've got a variance, the difference, which it will calculate automatically. Come back to the forecast in a moment. But at this stage, we've got similar options to the way that we entered budgets in part one against the standard. Just a case of clicking against the relevant month, keying in your value, and then we can either click to the next month or just press the tab key, and then we can cycle through it, keying in our values as we go. If you need to sort of use your tab key but go back in the other direction, just hold down your shift key. It'll toggle through the various fields, just go back over. So just key in your values, and that would be it done. Now you'll see the variances being calculated automatically for me. I haven't got anything in my actuals column just yet either. So I'm just going to save where we're up to. And now I've entered this against nominal 4,000, so I'm just going to save that for the time being. We'll close out. And then I'm going to quickly enter a transaction. Now for 4,000, we want to show income, so I'll quickly record that. I'll just do a bank receipt. So we've got some money coming in. So we'll pop into bank accounts. We'll choose the bank receipt option. There it is. Couldn't see it for looking there. Pop it into the right period. So this set of data I'm working on at the moment, still in the 2025 financial year. So runs January through to December 2025. So we'll pop a value in, make sure I've got the right nominal code in there. So we're looking at 4,000. Just put test in the details. And let's say we do £600 plus VAT, of course. And I'll just save that. Right, we now go back to nominal codes this time, and then budgets. Again, takes me into the same place. So we'll expand sales, expand product sales, click onto sales north, and you can see against January, in the actual row, it's picked up that £600. We can see that it's calculated the variance as well. So it's nice and easy to key in your budget values, but again, you've got to do them manually. You've got to key them in manually. There's no import option. I can't stress that one enough. I'm sure someone will still ask me a little bit later on, well, can I import? You can't. It doesn't matter which method you're on. You can only import if you're on you set up for one of the standard option itself. Now, the other option you've got, obviously keying them in manually each month, or similar to the standard method as well, we can enter a total budget. So if I key in 12,000, too many zeros there, and then as we tab out of that field, you'll get a similar message to the standard method. It'll just say, do you want to apportion this value across 12 months? Now, if I click no, I'm just back to where I was. But if we do that again, this time I click yes, whatever I've keyed in there, just divides it by 12, and it pops that into each month. So I've now got an annual budget or a monthly budget against each month, in this case of £1,000. Now you've got your forecast budgets. So again, you're starting to enter values for the next financial year. So it means I can leave my existing budgets intact for 2025, and I think, well, actually, I want to start planning ahead. I need those budgets intact for the current financial year, but actually, I want to start entering budgets for what would be my next financial year. Now, what you can't do for your advanced budgets, you can't enter just a total in advance. So I couldn't come along and say, right, well, this one, the forecast year, I want that to be 15,000, for instance, and I want it to divide. I can't do that. The only way I can key values in there is I've got to key them in. Essentially, I've got to key them in manually. But I want to enter them the same way, just manually entering them and then tabbing onto the next field or clicking into the relevant field. Again, you can save that. Other options you've got while we're in here. So we can see we've obviously drilled down as per the chart of accounts. So if you've got more than one chart of accounts, and you're thinking, well, I can't get at a specific nominal code, it'll be that nominal code hasn't been included in that chart of account structure. I'll quickly show you that and what I mean by that as well. And then we'll cover this other area up here along with that chart of accounts. So I'm just going to save what we've done so far, close out. I'm still within the nominal codes area, and we'll go into chart of accounts. And what I'm going to do with this chart of accounts, I'm just going to copy it. And I'll go in and edit that. Now I'm going to call it Michael, just so we can spot the difference. And in the sales section for product sales, I'm going to amend this. I'm just going to do 4,000 to 4,000. Just so you can see that it does change. And what I'll do is I'll knock some of these out as well. So I'll remove that line. I'll just press F8 a few times, just so we've got two ranges only. We've got 4,000 to 4,000, and against export sales, we've got 4,100 to 4,199. Again, if you're not sure and you don't really understand the chart of accounts, do have a look at the webinar registration page. We've got some sessions coming up on that. I'm just going to save those changes. I will get a message, incomplete chart of accounts. I'm aware of that one because we've got missing nominal codes, etc. But if I now go back to budgets, and we switch to the other chart of accounts, just give that a chance to load. And when we expand sales this time, we just see the ranges that are set up there. And if we go to product sales, I just see that one nominal code because in that range of product sales, I just had 4,000 to 4,000. Export sales, there must only be one nominal code that exists within that nominal range that we had. But again, we would enter it in the same way. And we've already entered budget figures against 4,000, so it's pulling that through. But if I'd entered, for instance, I'd entered budget figures against 4,001, because that's not in the range, I can't access that one at this point. So it's something to bear in mind with your chart of accounts. Let's go back to the default. Expand it, expand sales. You can see I've got all the nominal ranges back in there. And again, if I go back to product sales, it's got that much bigger range this time. Right, now this bit over here on the right, upper right, obviously it lists the financial year. As with the prior years, so on part one, when we looked at the standard budgets, when you were in the nominal record, you can actually look at previous figures. But it also includes the budgets this time. When we were on the standard method, when you were looking at previous financial years, all you can look at is the actuals figures, and you can compare them against whatever the current budgets are. But with the advanced method, when you run a year end, it would sort of lock down those actual figures for that financial year, but also it would retain those budget figures that you had set for that financial year. So if you need to, you can actually look through them. Now I've got nothing entered in these previous financial years. So remember, you've got the current year, which in my case is 2025. We've got the forecast year, which again, in my example, is 2026. But I could then got 5 previous years that I could potentially look at as well. Right, so remember, that's how you go about, that's how you go about setting up the advanced method by nominal code. Right, let's pop back to the slides for a moment. And we're going to go on to our second method. Well, the second method that we're going to look at is the second one on the drop-down list, and it's the advanced. This time it's department overview. Now, the department overview enables you to set up a budget for a department, for each department. But it is overview, so it's top level. So it means that, and you'll see this in a moment when we run through the example, it enables you to analyze your income and costs by nominal categories. Now, by nominal categories, I don't mean nominal code. We're not on about the nominal ranges. We're on about, literally, we're talking about the sales category, the purchases category, the direct expenses, the overheads. So it's, with it being overview, it's very top level. So we'll see that in just a moment when we run through that demonstration. Again, you'll have all the other benefits, so you can view previous budgets, current year, you can enter a forecast year, you've got the copy values option as well. But again, I must stress this, advanced budget values cannot be imported into any of the advanced options. So let's have a look at this one. You'll see the differences, the level of detail that you can enter. But this may be sufficient for what you're after. You might just want, right, I want a top, it's almost like I want to set a budget for sales in total. You still do it by month, but you're doing it for sales in total. Right, so back across to my screen. So Jackie, you were just asking there, so you're mentioning there, so when you run the year end, it will save your forecast year. It will give you the choice. I'll try and show you that at the end. Remind me on, I'll try and run through a demo of that one. It's one of the budget options you do get when you run the year end in the budget areas. When you set up for one of the advanced methods, it will say, right, which budget figures do you want to use for what will be your new financial year? Do you want to use the existing budgets? Do you want to use your actual figures, or do you want to use the forecast budgets? So that will then become the budgets for your new financial year. It's up to you at that point. You get that choice, but I'll try and demonstrate that a little bit later on once we've gone through the three methods. Right, so again, we go to settings, company preferences. My password, budgeting. I'm going to switch from nominal code to department overview. Okay, that's. Now, when you change budgeting types, you may get this. It may prompt you that you may lose, so you might want to copy existing nominal budgets, etc. So there is a great article in our help center about switching schemes and what you need to think about when you do that. I'm just going to click yes to that prompt. Just give it a few moments to run through in the background. Okay. We'll just okay that in a second. There we go. And we go into the same locations. We can either go into nominal codes, and then we've got the budgets option in here. Or alternatively, we can go via the departments option. So exactly the same two ways of accessing the budgets information. Now, it's pretty much the same layout at this stage. So you've got your budget details at the top here. Again, you can view current year plus 5 previous. The big thing that's different this time, obviously you've got your department drop down at the top. So if we choose department 1, and this time we've got, it just says sales. Now I can click on it, but I can't drill down on that. I can't expand it. I can't get to nominal code now. So it's just a case of me saying, right, for department 1, for sales, this is what I want the budget figures to do. And we would enter them in the same way. You can key them in month by month, or you can enter a total. Just be a case, again, of clicking through, popping in your values. It will also use your chart of accounts. So any nominal codes that are included in the sales range would be included. So again, that's something to, again, bear in mind. So if you're thinking, well, actual figures and things like that are incorrect, that's going to be why. It's going to be down to your chart of accounts. But we can enter one set of budgets for our total sales, total purchases, direct expenses, overheads, but you're doing it by department. If I switch to department number 2, you'll see that the budget figure, it disappears. So we'll key that one in as well. Again, you can enter a total if you prefer. So if we do 24,000 as an example, nice round figure. We'll apportion it equally across the 12 months, and you can see it pops in the value there. Your actual figures as well, it will pick up your actual figures dependent on the department number, of course. So, but it is overview, so you would expect it to be top level. Again, I would just save the changes. But other than that, the functionality wise in that screen, pretty much the same. Just in case, choose your department, and then you would select the relevant nominal area and key in your budgets in pretty much the same way as what we've looked at. Now, quite quick to enter your budgets in that way. So this is probably the simplest method. You're doing it by department. Obviously, nominal code, you're doing it by nominal code. You're drilling all the way down. The next method we're going to look at is going to be department in depth. Now, this is, as you'll see, a lot more in depth. So we'll pop back to the slides. So it is the most detailed option of all of the three that are available. And you basically enables you to set up budgets by department by nominal code. If you think of that first method, when we looked at nominal code, it works in pretty much the same way, but at the top, you're going to be specifying which department you want to enter the budget for against that particular nominal code. So nominal code 4000, for instance, can then have a budget figure for department 1, it can have a budget figure for department 2, etc. So it can be very, very detailed. And because of that, it can be a little bit more admin involved, a bit more time it takes to sort of set up your budgets. It will depend on the level of analysis you want, and obviously, of course, how many nominal codes you use. But again, other than that, you've got the same sort of functionality where you can view previous budgets, current year, you can enter forecast year. You've got the copy values option on your toolbar at the top. And again, there's information in our help center. Let's switch back to my screen and we'll quickly run through and have a look at that as well. So we'll start by going into settings at the top, into company preferences. Pop in my password again, and then pop onto the budgeting tab. So it's the department in depth option we want this time. It's sort of essentially it combines, almost like combines the two. So just okay that. Just get a moment to filter through. If we go by departments this time, again, we could go by nominal codes if we want. It's exactly the same. So into the budgets area. Similar layout to the one we've just looked at for departments. But this time you have the additional opportunities to expand the nominal areas. So we're not just entering a total for sales this time. So we specify department 1. And then we can start drilling down into the relevant nominal codes. So we expand that, just like we did for budgets, the very first budget by nominal code. We drill down all the way to that nominal code. So against nominal 4000, we can start keying in our budget values. So I'll just do it again. I'll do a total one. I'm sure you're familiar with this one now. It'll pop the relevant values in there. Just save the changes. Now, if I go to department 2, and again, I could drill down, and again, we can drill all the way to the individual nominal codes, so 4000. I'll pop a different one in this time. Do, let's say, 36,000 for that one. Just yes to that. So it puts 3,000 against each month. Even though you've done it that way, you can still go in and you can amend it if you want to. So if I wanted to change that to 5,000, for instance, I can do that. But that's the difference. It really, really depends on the level of detail that you require, which is one of the reasons we always say, give it a try. Have a try within your software. Again, you've got that forecast here, so I'll just pop some values in there. And we'll just save that. And that's it as far as setting up your budgets is concerned. Again, if you think of any questions, remember we've got Laura on hand. to answer those questions. Just try our best. If we can't answer them, sometimes you'll have very complicated queries as far as budgets are concerned. Sometimes they're very, very individual to each business, the way that you will work between maybe departments and budgets and nominal codes. So sometimes it could be quite in-depth. So sometimes we just take those questions away from the webinar. We get in touch manually via email. Right, okay, let's pop back to the slides. I want to talk a little bit about some of the resources you've got. I want to quickly mention about reporting as well. Now, in the past, we've actually run a budgets part 3 session. Now, I've included a link on the slide there to the recording of that webinar. So if you are interested, you want to find out a bit more about the reporting side, again, watch that recording. However, what I would encourage you to do is have a look at the reporting options. You've got the report finder if you're on version 30 or above. And if you're not, then you can always access the Help Center option. Now, not all of the standard reports will be applicable. I always think that it should hide the reports that are no longer applicable when you switch to the advanced method, but it doesn't do that currently. So I just switch to my screen and we'll have a quick look at what I mean by that. So if we go into nominal codes as an example, when we looked at the part 1 where we looked at the standard method, you had the comparative profit and loss, the prior year, which look at your budget figures. But these reports, these two at the top here, when it refers to the budgets, it's referring to the budgets that were held within the nominal record. It doesn't use the advanced budget method. So if you're looking at your reports and think, where's that figure coming from? That's not what I've just keyed in. Check out the report finder option or the which report option within our help center. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll show you the one in the help center first of all. So we'll go into the help center. So sage.co.uk/help. I'll just get rid of that. And then we're in the Sage 50 accounts area. So I'll just type which report. So in this, it's this option I'm after. So helping you to find the report you're after. And then you've got the report finder tool. Now, if we just type in, say, budgets, as an example, try and filter it, it'll try and find options for you. So this will then say, so is it for advanced budgets? Is it the nominal budgets? So it'll give you an idea of some of those budgeting reports that are available for you. Again, just maybe run through them and have a look, see what's available. The other one to quickly mention as well, if I go back to the main help center page, I think there used to be one. I'll just check if this one's available, budget reports. There's an actual article here as well, just on the reports that are available for certain budgets. This will give you a list of them and which method they are applicable to. So that comparative P&L and that the budget report, that's telling you that these are available for the standard method. And as you go down, there's the advanced options as well. But see what you can produce. Have a go of it within your software. Can you get at the information you're after? What level of budgeting do you need to complete within your software? Now, I'm just going to go back to the slide for a moment. Because I mentioned this at the beginning, have a go of it. When you're going into Sage 50 accounts, you'll have an option. You'll be prompted to either open the demonstration data or the practice data. They should be listed. If they're not within your software, you would just log into Sage 50 and then you can go File, Open, and then you'll have an option, Open Demonstration or Open Practice. Remember, if you choose the practice option and you're on 30.1 or above, you will have that opportunity to be able to restore a copy of your backup into it. It means that you can have a go of the budget options while playing around with a copy of your data, so data that you're familiar with. But with the practice, you can just choose to start from scratch with a blank company, so you can follow things through from start to finish just to see what impact that has. But have a go. Going to quickly come back to Jackie's query from earlier as well. Jackie's question was about the just confirming about the forecast budgets. I'll go back to my screen. So when we go through the year-end option, some great webinars coming up on that soon as well. So when we bring up the year-end wizard, when you're set up for the advanced method, you'll have this option here. So there's base, next year's nominal, and stock budgets on current year or actual values. And this is where you'll get this extra option of forecasts. You'll only be presented with that one if you are set up for the advanced methods. If you're set up for standard, it'll just list the top two. So you'll be able to choose, right? Once you've run year end, what do you want the forecasts, or what do you want the current year's budgets to be? Do you want to use just leave the existing budgets intact, or do you want to use that forecast year? Do you want to bring them essentially into the current financial year? So watch out for that one. Simon, not sure about your question, so we will come back I'll probably get in touch via email with you about that one. So I'll just drop you an email once we've finished. Any other questions at all from anyone today? We're just about bang on time, so if you've got any questions, quickly pop them in there. Help Center is a great source of information for you. So again, I've got that set up as a shortcut in my browser, but equally just anywhere in your software, you can just press F1, it'll bring up the Help Center for you. Or you can just open your browser and go to sage.co.uk/help. Whether that's knowledge-based articles, support guides, webinars you want to access, short videos, maybe you can't find what you're looking for, so actually you just want to know how to get in touch with our support team or raise a query, it'll explain those options for you. If we're waiting for questions, just want to quickly mention a little bit about our community hub. So it's a great source of support as well. So Community Hub, if you've not come across it before, it's our online forum for Sage 50 accounts. We cover all products separately, but there is specifically an area for Sage 50 accounts users. You can share your knowledge, swap ideas, solve problems. It doesn't have to relate to your software. It can relate to anything to do with your business. If you're looking for some advice, or maybe you want to join the discussion or even offer some advice, then you can do that. It's available 24/7. So share your expertise, keep up to date with any announcements. If you haven't yet joined that, it's free to join. I've included a link there, so communityhub.sage.com, just head along. Currently there's over, I think last year, the stat I've got for you at the bottom there. So last year, over 8 or just shy of 9,000 accounts professionals connected and supported each other. Obviously it's managed by Sage, obviously we get involved in that as well. It's not just asking all our customers to answer each other's questions, but sometimes other similar businesses are the best source of information, so they may offer you advice. If you want to get connected and you haven't yet signed up, just use that link that's provided, communityhub.sage.com. Also currently running a separate survey, 2 questions on that survey. If you have your phone handy, you just take a quick or snap the QR code there, it'll take you direct to that survey. 2 questions. One, we're just trying to find out what you would like more webinars on. Now these are not related to your product itself, so is it you want more webinars about things like AI? Is it to do with VAT, making tax digital, other maybe topical areas that you're interested in? You'll be able to vote on those. And also, second question will be, well, what format do you like your learning to be in? Is it webinars? Is it e-learns? Is it short videos? Up to you. Let us know. So if you can take a minute to do that one as well, that would be greatly appreciated. The link is obviously included in your handout, so if you've downloaded the handout, you can do that at any time. Finally, let me thank you for attending this morning. I hope you've enjoyed part 2. Again, if you didn't have a chance to watch part 1, that recording is available via our recordings list, as is part 3, where we've run that previously, where we look at the analysis and the reporting in a bit more in depth. Now, there will be a little survey pop up as you leave this morning's session. Usual one that pops up. If you could take a minute to complete that, let us know your thoughts, share any ideas. Greatly appreciated if you can do that. We love reading those comments to see if we've hit the mark or not. And we're always on the lookout for new ideas as well. Let me know what you thought about the little videos that we played at the beginning as well, if you were logged on in time to watch those too. Otherwise, watch out for your follow-up email. You'll get that in around about an hour's time. It will include a link to this morning's recording, a link so you can register for our upcoming webinars, loads of sessions relating to management reports, loads of sessions relating to year-end and year-end topics such as clearing records, clearing your audit trail, that type of thing. Get yourself registered if you are interested. And finally, a link to our previous recordings as well. Right, no further questions at that point. So Simon, I'll get back to you privately via email, and we'll end the webinar just at that point. Many thanks for coming. Hopefully we'll see you again very soon. Many thanks.